So the first thing you want to do when you start cleaning your fish, make sure you pull all your tags. Fish come in with slime on them, especially salmon. Every fish has a natural slime coat. So before you start taking the scales off, just want to wash the fish out. Make sure you get all the ice off of it, all the slime, as much as possible. Best way to scale is start tail to head. I like starting mine towards the belly. You always want to make sure you get between the fins along your cut lines, which your cut line is going to be here, through here. Don't have to worry about gutting the fish, it's already gutted. For the ones that aren't gutted, the cut line is going to start at the tail and it's going to run all the way to the head. At the top, you want to start your cut line here, and it runs all the way to the head as well. You want to make sure you give detailed attention to those areas, because if you miss a scale, then your blade skips and you will cut yourself. You want to make sure your fish scaler has a handle on it. Apply pressure with finger, moves the scales along faster. Now the difference between using a fish scaler and using a knife is it's said that the scalers pull at the scales, which breaks down the muscle fibers that attach the meat to the skin. So typically, most sushi chefs would prefer to knife cut their scales off instead of using a fish scaler. In my case, I don't know, because I've never knifed my scales off, and I think my fish scaler is pretty nifty. So we flip her over, same process on the other side. Make sure your cut lines are clear. Depending on what fish you're doing, especially if you get poisonous fish into your restaurant, you want to make sure you check for spines before you start scaling your fish, because even though the fish companies and the fish markets typically take the spines out of the fish, there's some that might get missed, and the last thing you want is a poisonous spine in a finger. So always check your fish. If you know they're poisonous, make sure you do your research. If they're poisonous, always check for leftover spines, especially in your stonefish. They will be there. Other cut line on the other side. And you want to make sure you get the scales completely, not just the places you need to cut. Because once you get to actually deboning and breaking down the fish, you don't want any scales left behind. And what you see in the water is the slime coat under the scales of the fish. Is the reason why we keep hitting it with water. Make sure that we are actually removing all the scales and we're getting the slime coat off that we're making the fish body produce as we're scaling the fish. Not all fish do this. Salmon are pretty bad for it. The silver color behind it is when you know you've gotten down to the skin of the fish. So because it will produce that silver color in the water every time. I also don't run water while cleaning my fish because the scales are large, it'll stop up your sink, and you'll have a sink full of water while you're trying to scale your fish. Run your hand back down the fish, and everything looks like it still has scales, but actually it doesn't. So you want to check your fish, make sure you've got all the scales off of it all the way up to the head. Make sure you're cleaning out the inside if your fish is already gutted. So we're going to turn the water on. Spray out the inside of Sally Salmon. And that's a wrap for the cleaning. Good.